So now we are ready to begin projecting our cash flow statement. So in order to do this, we will just reference to our years of forecast, in this case from 2023 to 2027. We reference all of those. And then we now have to begin our operating activities modeling in our cash flow statement. So in order to do this, we will reference to whatever our net income was, reference that amount, and then we have to adjust for any depreciation. So we are adding back any non-cash items such as depreciation, but it might include other non-cash items as stock-based compensation, goodwill impairment, and also we also have it here set up our deferred taxes, which is non-cash, and our payment in kind interest, which is also a non-cash item. So we are adjusting for all of those. So we add back depreciation in this case, which we have it here already. We have depreciation there. And then for the payment in kind interest, this later one will come later on when we are done with modeling our complex debt schedule. So we will have this later on when we are done modeling our complex debt schedule. So this is the payment in kind interest for the subordinated debt, because we believe that that class of debt will be paid a balloon repayment. So they will have interest that is being paid to them interim, and then the balance of the interest and the principal will be paid at the end where the debt matures. So the payment in kind interest that is being the payment in kind interest, the amount that will be accumulated for that period, it's that which we will later on reference here as a non-cash interest expense. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. And then for the deferred taxes, we already have it set up for us. So we calculated it already. We have it there for us. And then for the change in net working capital, we already calculated that a while ago in our working capital section. So this is the change, that is, we deduct any increase in non-cash working capital. So we already have it there set up for us. So we can now account for the cash from operations, which is roughly this amount. You can take this, which you just copy and paste it to the rest of our projected period. So for the investment in property, plant, and equipment, this will just come from our capital expenditure section. We have this amount here, roughly $4 million in the year 2023. So this is the base case, but we could always switch these cases in our input section. So we have this here set up as a base case. We could just hit F2 and we'll make that negative, because we want to account for all of the negative numbers in the cash flow statement as negative numbers. So we could just sum that. We can fill it right with Control R. So we have that set up there. So we don't have any. So these are the only potential acquisitions or expenditures we believe this will be made going forward into the future. So having that set down, the next thing we want to do here is to account for the balance. So here we want to account for the cash balance. Later on, we will be dealing with this later on in the schedule, because this will come from when we are done with our complex debt schedule. So we have the revolving line of credit issuance or repayments, the term loan A, term loan B, issuance or repayments. We have the subordinated debt. we have the equity insurance and repurchase, and we also have payments of dividends. So we will be dealing with all of these items when we are done with the supporting schedules. But for now, we can calculate the change in cash, which is going to be equal to the cash from operations plus the cash used in investing activities plus the cash used in financing activities. So we can have it set up there like that. So that is the change in cash. But for the opening cash balance, we know that the opening cash was this minimum cash balance. So we have that amount there. This is the opening cash balance for that at the start of our projected period. So this is the only cash that is left at the start of the projected period. So we have it set up there as $5 million. So we can now sum whatever the ending balance will be, that is the beginning opening cash plus the change in cash. And then going forward, it's going to be a cost calculation where the opening cash balance of the current period is the closing of the prior period. So we can now copy this and paste it here. So we can take all of these and fill it right with Control R. As you can see, we have it set up there for us. So we have this amount we're gonna be using in this model going forward to account for the payment of debt. So the reason why we set up this cash flow statement is because we want to generate cash from operations that will be used to pay down this debt under these financing activities. So the cash used from operations will be used to pay down debt. So that's exactly what we are doing here. But before we do that,